congratulations on the album Six Dusty Winds. We've been playing the new single Shine On our show, and our listeners have absolutely fallen in love with it, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy, yeah, and especially Shine On. I'm happy that you like that song, that you keep playing it. It's one of my personal favorites, to be honest. I just love that song. It gives me just such happy feelings all the time, yeah.
So what is it that you love about that song so much? Because I know a lot of the times when I talk to musicians, they say it's so hard to pick out a favorite song because they love all of their children equally. So what is it about Shine On that makes you love it so much?
Oh, you know what? I think it's the intro, the guitar intro that opens up something very deep down, deep inside of my heart. I don't know, it touches my heart. The guitar riffs in the beginning is just so, it goes very deep for me, and the story, the lyrics, and the way the lyrics kind of like melt with the music and everything is just it's such a nice story about how love can just change the world, I think. I think that's what it is. It's just a very, very honest and deep song about love, and not only the love between like a couple or something. It's just love towards people and animals and nature. Just a very I would say a very human love.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I really like about that song.
Yeah.
It's very positive, and it kind of like gives so much hope.
Yeah, it does, definitely. And for a lot of our listeners and for a lot of people here in Australia, this is the first time they've had a chance to listen to Ivy Gold. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how the band formed in the first place.
I don't know if you read a little bit about our bio, but this band and this project really wasn't planned at all. Like I've been kind of like singing, I don't know, for the last 10, 15 years or something. I never really intended to become a singer in the first place. Like I'm not one of those, rock singers who knew at age 5, this is what I will do, for the rest of my life. So I kind of like got into music. Well, it was, I guess singing, it was always like my therapy in a way, kind of like to stay healthy, to stay in a good mood. And, it was a hobby, to be honest, for many, many years. And, at some point I started to kind of like write lyrics, and I would get together with Sebastian, and he is very, very creative. Like he's been in the music business and scene for over 40 years, and he's got a lot of experience and a lot of ideas and everything. So the two of us would just, hang out together, and he'd play, a few licks and stuff, and, and I'd listen to it, and I'd come up with ideas in my head, and melodies and feelings and emotions and stuff, and that's how it initially started. And we'd sit there just, on the couch, and kind of like, we started to tape it just on with a voice memo on the iPhone. And in the end we had about, 10, 12 songs or something. And they sounded really, they sounded cool, and we had the feeling of like, oh wow, this is like something special going on, right? And we figured, well, let's record them in a kind of like a demo version and see, how it sounds like, the bass line and the drums and a little bit of keyboards on it. And then we looked at it after we finished it, and we looked at it, it's like, wow, this is, even if it's only a demo, it sounds actually pretty good. And then we thought, well, let's, see if we find a couple of studio musicians and get it, nicely done. And that's how the whole thing started. And we were so inspired, I guess, by what we've created just by having fun and not having any goals with it, or no commercial goals, this has to be really good and stuff. It was just, we just went with the flow, I guess. It just, and then one night we decided to get in touch with Tal Bergman over in Los Angeles, in the USA. And that's how the whole thing kind of started.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And you mentioned that you weren't somebody who wanted to be a musician from a very early age, but you've got such an amazing voice. Did you have that voice when you were younger as well?
No, not at all. Not grow up with music whatsoever, like in my family, in my surroundings, where I grew up in Austria, in a little town, not Australia, but Austria.
Yeah.
Right. People mix that up quite a bit. So I grew up on the countryside in the family that was not, or is up till the point now. My family is not into music at all. I remember I was a huge Elvis fan. That was like my first encounter with music, I guess, at the age of 6 or something. But I would listen to Elvis and kind of like follow his path a little bit, and I was always kind of like really attracted to him. I felt he had such a great charisma and great vibes. But I didn't sing. I didn't play an instrument, like nothing. And I would just only listen to music, I guess. And at some point, I was already in my 20s. I was guided to, take some vocal lessons, and I started out with classical music initially. When I was in my mid-20s already, and and I noticed right from the beginning, actually, that I kind of like have gotten into something very special for me. So ever since then, I took my first singing lesson. I was really hooked, and I was really into it. It was like a good way of being addicted, I guess, to something. And I was very lucky. I had great teachers. I studied classical music for a couple of years, 4 or 5 years, and into the musical stuff, and then the gospel, and that's how it all developed. But I would have never thought that I'd be like, sitting here now with you,
yeah.
Dave, and having an interview, with you, being in Australia. Now that's just something that seriously happened, just totally out of the blue. Which is, it's I guess that's always the best thing. If you don't plan on things, if you don't have specific goals, I guess you have to be ambitious, and it's a lot of training, obviously, to get the voice, or any instrument. It doesn't matter what instrument you're playing, or you're using as your art, or as your way of expressing music. It takes a lot of dedication, obviously, and a lot of practice and work. But if it's your passion, you do it no matter what. And that's how I kind of like see this whole project, and what I do with music, and why I do it. It's, yeah.
Definitely. And you mentioned before too about branching out to the USA. The band members are right around the world. How difficult was it to put together this album, especially in the last 12 months where the world's been in lockdown and no travel?
Yeah. Well, we actually had the recordings finished right when we went into the first lockdown last year. So we were finished with recordings, and it was kind of it was actually not that hard, because we did have the pre-production finished from here in Germany, and Tal wanted us to send only the demo version over to him, to LA, and he's got a great studio over there, the Tal Bergman studio, which is formerly known actually as the Lion Share Studio, which is a really famous studio in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Where, I don't know, Quincy Jones, and I think even Michael Jackson was in there writing songs and stuff. So he's got a really, really great studio over there. So he actually did play all the drums and everything in his studio. And so as soon as he was finished, he'd send over the files back to us, and then I think Sebastian was put on the guitars, and then we send it back to the UK to Anders, and he recorded his parts in England, and Kevin Moore, the bass player, he recorded in Munich. So it was interesting, because we recorded this album actually not together in one room, which is probably very unusual. But nowadays it's possible with with the internet and the technical things that are possible these days. You don't have to necessarily be in one studio together.
Yep.
And it's been really interesting and really cool to get it done like that.
Yeah. And now the album is out there. What are your plans for the rest of this year? I know that some countries of the world are starting to open back up again. What is it like there in Germany, and will there be a chance of perhaps a tour later in the year?
Yeah. The thing is, we're really looking and trying to put a tour together. We have been contacted by a few venues actually that wanted to book us. And we're looking into it. We have a few dates in November. They're not 100% sure yet, because it all depends on how the pandemic situation will develop. So it's kind of hard, because it changes so much, right? Within the week or so.
Yeah.
As soon as the figures go up, and they have been going up again here in Germany in the last, I think, week or two, and they're thinking about another really, really strict lockdown, like where you can't even leave the house after 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. at night. So it's really hard to get into the booking business, because nobody knows what's going to happen within the next couple of weeks or months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, let's just hope and, cross our fingers, because this is really, we didn't even have a release party because we were in lockdown, right? We released our album on March 12th it was, and we couldn't really, we couldn't go out there and play a live show or a release party, and it's really sad in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the fun part, right? After all the hard work and all the recordings and the promo work and all that it takes to to be able to release that, your baby, and then you can't play a show and you can't have a party. So we're really, really hoping that in November, there's gonna be a few shows at least here in Germany. Yeah, we wanted to start in Germany because, yeah, we are in Germany, and Germany is a good live market as well. There's a lot of venues and a lot of clubs, and so we're hoping to be able to put something together.
That will be awesome. And I know that there'll be a lot of people here in Australia who are hoping in the next few years they'll be able to see you perform in Australia as well. And I guess to finish up, what would you like to say to those Australians out there who are thinking about going out and buying the album? Because I know there's a few out there thinking about it.
Oh my God. All I can say is, thank you so much for, having interest in a brand new band. I mean, it's not easy these days, right? Writing your music and starting this whole new thing. So I really, really appreciate every single one of you out there who, likes our music, loves our music, and just picks up the vibes. And we want to spread love and good energy. And everyone who kind of gets that mood and feels into that, I'm so thankful, and I'm really hoping one day we'll make it over to Australia. I've never been to Australia, and it's always been a dream of mine to get over there, and maybe this is my chance. So,
definitely.
Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. Not only me, but also my boys, my golden boys. That I could not have done it without my band. I always say that it's me doing the interview, and it's me, being the one who's presented the most, I guess. But I could not do all of this without my band. So I thank my band. I thank you for supporting, us and inviting us. And I thank, all the listeners and followers.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Well, I'll let you go, but stay safe, and hopefully we do get to see you in Australia sometime in the not too distant future.
Yes, I would love to. Stay safe too, Dave.
Will do. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.